Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Sunday, ready to do some feedback. That's right, it's Sunday morning feedback. We ran out of hours on Crowdcast yesterday, and so it was like we couldn't really go live over there because I wasn't sure we would get cut off or not.
Right.
And also, we did a lot of podcasting apparently in April. I didn't know we did so many hours of podcast, but I'm sure breaking down all those Kendrick and Drake back and forth.
Every day we was like, no time off.
And the 3-hour feedbacks that those made, just I'm sure
that I was added up.
So, all right, let's get into this feedback show. Of course, you can leave feedback by looking in the show notes. Everything that you see there, you can leave feedback. You know, whether it's our website, whether it's voting in the polls, whether it's the comments, whether it's emails, voicemails, it's all in the show notes. That's how you leave feedback. The official weapon of the show is
foam chair,
an unofficial sport,
bullet ball,
and bullet ball extreme.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own with Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Tips.
New donations, new exaltations. Mario, thank you very much. Mariano. Adam S. with the recurring donation. Joe H. Jason F. Tyrone M. Dorothea. That's our girl. Appy, I believe. Michael Irvin, the Playmaker, Waste Bees by Sura, Allison H, Michael F, Mary H, Deborah O, Stefan H, Jonathan H, Corey B, Jeff M, Early Days at Photography, Marvin B, yes, Marvin B, J for Mako H, Michael W, Mako F. We got a one-time donation from Aisha L, who left a note who says, I should have done this many moons ago. Shout out to my bestie Amber for putting me on years ago. Hashtag Them Thrones, hashtag Walking Dead.
Shout out to Amber.
Thank you, Amber, and shout out to Aisha. I'm not going to say how much it was, but it was a pretty charitable donation, if you know what I'm saying.
Thank you, baby.
Asia D. And lastly, Chriselle B. Thank you, everybody, for the recurring donations, the one-time donation, and the lovely note that was attached to it. Play me out, Qua. Sorry, Catholic Church don't hit like that.
No, it don't. They said the music is distorted.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we love to hear that. I don't know what to do about that. Let me try refreshing real quick, everybody, and see if that helps. Way every time. I don't know why it would work differently some days and not.
Right, but AI gonna take over. Okay.
All right, is the music distorted now?
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own.
So y'all let me know. I know there's gonna be a delay with the internet. Y'all let me know if it's still distorted.
They said it's good.
Okay, all right. Who the fuck knows? I didn't do anything different. All right, here we go. Speaking of which, let's give people some love for giving us 5-star reviews. We got 4 new 5-star reviews. Shout out to y'all.
Let's go 5-star reviews.
Appreciate y'all
had the 5. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all caring. It's all from United States of America. We did get one from Japan last week, though. 5 stars from Awkward CC. Are we getting House of Dragons recaps next month? Hashtag them dragons. Yeah. Come on, CC. Don't disrespect us like that, of course. What do you think this is? The best show out there from Survey Says, who says, I could go on and on about how great this show is, but I'm going to let you use your minutes listening yourself. You're welcome. Thank you, Survey Says.
Straight to the point.
Tell them. Sorry, Dolphins. 4 exclamation points. This is from HR Paper Stacks, who says, I'm with Karen on the paper straw thing. I'm sorry. They started using them at my local Pete's coffee shop, and the straw just absolutely disintegrates.
Right. It defeats the whole fucking purpose.
A waterproof straw ain't that bad an idea. Now I was with you until you started talking about milk before cereal.
That's when we had to part our ways.
Now I guess we just side-eyeing each other because cereal before milk is definitely the right order. Great show. I learned so much from you guys and get my entertainment to boot. Thanks, y'all.
That's what makes the world go round. Everybody side-eyeing each other.
Rod was right. This is from Supercalifragilistic. Okay. Rod was right. Rod was right. What was that again? Yep. Rod was motherfucking right. This is all caps, by the way. Trump guilty on all counts. Let's go. I can't wait for tomorrow's episode. Lock him up. Yeah, we'll probably talk about it more in detail when we do our next show with the news. But I did say, you know what I mean? I did say, I know there's a lot of pessimism, a lot of people that didn't want to believe, and I think they did that to protect themselves, because they didn't want to get their hopes up and have them let down. Now look, I still don't think he's going to jail for jail, or if he does end up in some sort of a
house arrest,
whatever situation. I just don't think it'll be some long running situation. And I think we knew from jump, even if he went to prison, that does not preclude him being on the ballot.
No, it does not.
So ultimately, the true judgment for him, the true sentencing, is going to come in November when people go to the ballot or don't go to the ballot, or they go and vote for him. So it's really up to us as citizens to take on the responsibility of sitting on top of the biggest empire, biggest, imperialistic power, and deciding, do we want to limit some of it, or do we just want to go all in on Trump? And I guess we'll find out in November. But at no point did I think this man was going to have the entire criminal justice system look the other way. Right. And I'm not with the bullshit of certain, I saw there's a representative that's a Democrat from one of these little, Minnesota or something like that, or whatever state, and who was already saying some shit well, I think when he gets sentenced, they should pardon him, just so that, because he's running for president. Fuck that shit.
Right. Let it sit on his record.
Fuck that shit. Not even let it sit on his record. Fuck that shit. Whatever his sentence is, what his sentence is. Right. And this just the first. He still got more trials to go. We not finna pardon shit. Nah, keep that same energy, homeboy. You was talking that shit. You thought you had the fucking, the golden touch when you was doing them crimes. When you was cashing them checks with your big mouth. Now you catching that hell. So nah, I'm not finna. I don't want to hear none of that shit. But a lot of people, and I'm celebrating in this moment because a lot of people, some of y'all wrote up here. Some of them my friends, some of them whatever people been telling me, nothing's gonna happen. He won't be found guilty. This system will never die. Well, they were wrong, and I was right.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened. I've been right about all of it. We've been right about all of it. Woo! Yes. Yes.
Rod is right. Yep, Rod is right. Rod is right. Rod is right. Yep, Rod is right. Yeah, Rod is right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh yeah, Rod was right. Rod was right.
I absolutely fucking said it, man. So yeah, I'm gloating because you don't get that often. You get a chance to gloat like this, Because if I would have been wrong, they motherfucking would have been rubbing my nose in it. I told you that they did it. Well, guess what, nigga? You were wrong. I was right. I called it. Motherfucker, 34 of them charges, 100% guilty, 100%. So anyway, let's move on from the 5-star reviews. We appreciate them. We love it. And I'll play a little bit of music so we can go into our next segment, which is just feedback.
Do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, well, I wouldn't
like to even discuss that.
Why not?
It's a debatable point, I suppose.
What do you think yourself? You must have an opinion here.
Well, there's only one world, man.
Do you think that can stand up to present scientific investigation?
I think it could.
Do you think so?
I think
as far as the universe goes.
All right, took a while for that beat to get going. A lot of intro to that. All right. 5-star reviews. Comments on our website, YouTube. Let's get to them. 2910 genius, omniscient, awesome, talented. That was the title of the episode. There's 11 comments.
Ooh, child, what was we talking about?
I don't know. There's feedback, so I don't have a list. EVE says you should absolutely text your yoga friend. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so a lot of these comments are Appia says something, and then a bunch of people respond, and then people responded to Appia.
Okay.
Including Appia responding to herself. Okay. You can always come to me and ask me to speak to the manager. I am even myself a manager, but it is a key account and project manager at a big pharma, so I guess it's very specific. My yoga friend stopped coming to yoga, and I don't think it's because of me. I thought it was her turn to reach out to me, but she didn't. Maybe I will text her and ask what's up. I have for me, new black coworker. I've moved to her department. When I was on tour with her, I was suddenly in a conversation about blackness in Germany and her experiences, and I was glad that I'm aware about some classic racism, classic in quotes, and things not to say that I learned from you. Woo! You know what? I'm going to take that as a compliment, mostly because we made some black woman's life in Germany a little bit easier. You know, who knows what you can do with the power of a podcast, but you know, you wasn't like, let me touch your hair or whatever the fuck, you know, ignorant thing that somebody that maybe don't listen to the show might have did. So shout out to us. At the end of my conversation, I got a compliment for being informed and empathic and not saying any stupid shit. Yeah, the bar is low.
The bar is really low.
You can jump right over that hurdle because it's so low for the white people, especially, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're in another country, you just don't like because like in America, the problem is there is enough black people that people know and they just be racist on purpose.
Yes.
The problem some places where they don't have black people is that they don't even know sometimes what the racism is because this is literally their first experience. You know, we all heard the nightmare horror stories of black people that go to other countries and I walk down the street and everybody's like staring at me.
Yeah, I want to take pictures of me.
People trying to touch my hair, people, you know, shit like that. And it's like, fuck, that sucks. That feels like being in a zoo exhibit or some shit.
Right.
So, you know, that to me honestly would feel worse than, you know, a white person not holding the door for me at the airport or something. I'm like, that motherfucker probably racist. So at least I have a new black work friend. Funny, just after I commented here, as you said you would never talk about these topics with coworkers, I was afraid to say something stupid or hurtful by accident, but we were on tour, just the two of us, and we were having lunch, and I think she wanted to check out if I was a terrible person. I'm glad I passed. Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Appia, that's a continual test.
Yes, it is.
That was
it don't stop. That's round one.
Every day, pop quiz.
Any day you could fail.
Pop quiz, motherfucker. So you gotta stay on your guard. Don't let up. It was a very interesting conversation because in their view, it's like I thought we have individual racism here, hurtful remarks, people being idiots, but not so much structural racism from the state. And what's also good, also not from our company. She said she noticed that the company really is anti-racist. It doesn't tolerate any of it, and it's not just talk. So that's good. Yeah, I hope that's her experience, and I hope it continues.
Me too.
EVE says you should absolutely text your yoga friend. You have to stay committed in your pursuit. I believe in you. Appia said, thanks, I do it now. Then she said, thanks for reaching out. The yoga times don't work for us as a family right now, and I'm more in the gym. How are you? I said, I'm good. It's sad that yoga doesn't work for you at this time. Now it's on her to suggest something. So good luck. Ronan Raphael said, it makes sense now why I've been seeing what did you think about this episode as a question on Spotify. I didn't think about it the first time. I left a typical response till I saw it the third time. I was like, oh. Also, just because Israel versus Hamas is going on doesn't equal Israel taking out the Iranian president. Iran has enemies that predate its beef with Israel, like Saudi Arabia, which ties into Islam origins. Man crashed in a region known to be extra foggy. His own supreme leader could have taken him out. If you're familiar with the Revolutionary Guard, you know. Russia and more. They also have a weird beef with the Taliban. So we shouldn't be adding fire where there's none. Both countries, Israel and Iran, already retaliated against each other, with Biden already saying that we won't get involved with Israel move, therefore limiting options available. So what benefit is it to Netanyahu, as evil as he is, to do something that could potentially unite Iran and Saudi, Turkey, NATO member, and the rest of the GCC into attacking him? Even America hasn't gone that far. Well, if Trump returns, the late Iranian president wasn't even as hardline as their former president in the early 2000s, openly denying the Holocaust every time he had the mic, amongst our other wild stuff he said. If that dude had been president during Trump, Face would have tried to take him out, as he would insulted his hair, hands, or called him a nigger. Wow. I've seen some crazy leaders in my life. Pardon the long right. See why I miss Spotify containing me. Ha ha ha. Looking forward to what the new hosting site brings. Also heard new host too before my brain corrected. By the way, I'm not implying that anyone took the Iranian president out. I believe it to be an accident, just that they got loads of enemies, domestic and foreign, like everyone. If I believed he was taken out, I would have posted the link to my BBL Drizzy cruise to the motherland. Stay tuned. Sean replied to all this and said, given the number of Iranian military officials and scientists that Israel has assassinated, BB's policies towards Iran is very assassination focused. Not saying that the president dying was an assassination or it was done by Israel, just saying that the reason that is believable is because BB's war crimes and foreign policy over the past 2-ish decades. And I would just like to say, after reading all that, and that's why I don't talk about this shit. I don't know anything y'all said.
Damn thing.
I read all that shit. And then the worst part is, now that I'm saying I don't understand, this is just going to be 12 more pages of shit I don't understand. Like, no, see, 73, you got to go back to that conflict. And I'm like, I don't know these things the way I know like American history.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. And I'll tell you what, after watching Lioness, this is how they would do it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to take somebody out, that's how they do it. I watched Gamora from what is Rocket Raccoon in them? Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxies do all kinds of ill shit overseas. Okay, so I don't know what the rules are right now. Okay, it feel real Jack Bauer to me. All right, I don't know how it works over there. I just know a lot of shit is happening, a lot of conspiracies, and it's kind of a scary time. And when you wake up and you're like, God damn, a president died. It's in an area where it's a lot of conflict right now. It's scary, you know? But thank you, Ronan Raphael, for explaining it in a way that I'm sure people understood, that are familiar with it, but that made my understanding of it no better. Apia says, always when you talk about Simone Biles, I look up and wonder how someone could think she isn't pretty. In my eyes, she is a very attractive person and conventionally good looking. What am I missing? Racism, probably.
Yes.
Just decades and centuries of racism, colorism, anti-blackness. You know, it's so interesting because personally, as just a human being, I find so many people attractive.
Me too.
The range of people I find attractive is truly mind-boggling compared to when I hear people talk about who and what they find attractive. It's always like one type of person or whatever, you know, like it's this, is that. But I'm just like, and I know it sounds like a hippie thing to say, but it's like, isn't everybody fucking beautiful in their own way or whatever, right? But Black women in particular have just been shat upon so hard in America and throughout the world in many places. And Black women are astoundingly beautiful, but we even do it to ourselves sometimes from within our own race. So like with Simone Biles is an interesting thing where I don't find that it is white people who are constantly bemoaning her being unattractive.
Right.
You know, I think now they may not think about her as attractive, or they might not even think of her romantically, sexually in any kind of way. Maybe that's why it doesn't come up. I don't know. But the biggest places where I saw her and Gabby Douglas catch a lot of hell was from a lot of Black people, sadly, many of them Black women, about how their hair looked during their gymnastics competitions.
Right.
And no matter how many people, even other Black women, try to explain to them, this shit during the competition is different. This is not about your hair.
Right. She trying to fucking win a gold medal. What y'all talking about?
And immediately, as soon as the Olympics are over and they're doing magazine covers, because, you know, they win all the fucking medals and they're looking beautiful on those covers, it's like, then, you know, the pushback starts, like, look at how great they look or whatever. And honestly, I thought they looked good during the competition. I thought they looked good in the magazine covers, is, you know, or whatever. But a lot of that is like internalized shit. It's a lot of respectability. You gotta look a certain way all the time. You know, it's and I'm not knocking this. If you're into that, you're into that. This is not a diss to that, but it's kind of like when you look at a WNBA game now versus 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it's completely different.
Now girls out there with the eyelashes sometimes, they out there with the hair laid, they, you know, the makeup, you know, all that stuff sometimes. And you know, I never really been a person that's like, you better put some makeup. I'm not that guy, but just in general, I can see the effort, and I probably makeup and shit has come a long way too. But
yeah,
I can see the effort, and I'm like,
I don't rub off as much.
Yeah, and so there's like a pressure to be like a quote unquote bad bitch at all times, or you're like letting the race down, or you're letting yourself down. You know, the comments people leave on our YouTube, or comments I've seen about us online, where it's like, you know, Karen's not glammed up. It's never really about me. Karen's not glammed up on cam. What the fuck? You know, it's like there's this pressure. And so I don't necessarily know that it's a she's ugly thing, but it's this idea of she's not performing beauty for us at all times. And so she's letting us down. And then I think on the more subconscious psychological level that even the people who are saying these things will never understand about themselves, part of them feels she can't be loved by a man who isn't performing a worship of her constantly, because they don't really believe she is a lovely, coveted, beautiful, all this stuff. They really believe deep down like she is the woman who was assaulted by this doctor. She's the woman whose hair wasn't done right. She's a woman that has a different shape than the you know, the trending BBL shapes and all this shit. So like somehow her having a beautiful man, by the way, that I'm sure many women find attractive. He's an NFL player. He's got his money. He's low-key famous. You know, I'm sure many women see him and they don't see him constantly going up for her in the ways that they would like to see, the performative ways out to the world. Because she says within their relationship, he's extremely supportive. Right. And I can only take her word for that.
Right.
I think their subconscious goes, because he can't love you, because you're not lovable, because you can never get a guy like that. Like you need some other type of person who is off the beaten path that would want you. I truly believe that's what's happening. I can't prove it. I'm not their therapist, but the way it has persisted for, it must be almost a year now. The way this thing has persisted to where they're attacking her husband and then using any response from her or him as proof that they're right, because they can possibly be wrong about someone's fucking marriage that they don't really understand or know.
Right.
That says a lot about how they feel about her as a person to be wanted. You know what I'm saying? As a human being, not a symbol, but a human person. They don't see her as this guy clearly fucking loves her, and that's just the end of it. She says he loves her. She's not stupid. The end. No, they gotta have figured out a way, because it can't be true that he loves her.
Right. And a lot of this goes back to just projecting, because like I said, you don't know anything. And, you know, and also, you know, for me, I've lived long enough to, how can I say this? Everybody deals with the pressure of beauty differently. I'm just, as a straight woman, everybody deals with the pressure of beauty differently. There are some women, and I think they look gorgeous, like my mama, clean all the time, makeup done all the time, hair done all the time, like dressed to the nine all the time. You know, that's their jam, and that's fine for them. I happen not to be that type of a person. Like my personality, that's just not my jam. And so you kind of go through all types of pressures with people telling you because you don't quote unquote do what the standard is for beauty, that there's something wrong with you. You're less than a woman. Who would want you? You know, why ain't you out here shucking and jiving and doing these things to quote unquote get men's attention? When those women that dress up and put on makeup, a lot of times that ain't for men attention. It's for other women attention. You know, like that's what men miss sometimes. A lot of times it's, hey girl, you look good, and I make like it's more for that. A lot of times most men get on their nerves. You know, I'm just keeping it real. Most men do. And so, you know, it's just one of those things where men always want to be the center of attention in a woman's world. Like men cannot comprehend a woman being able to function and compute and make decisions and do shit without always considering and putting them first and foremost in their lives. It baffles men, you know, in my opinion. And I think that a lot of the projection, a lot of that stuff stems from that. I think that's the root cause of a lot of this throwing at her, is them not comprehending how can she do all these things, accomplish all these things, and then get a man. But it's one of those things where she got a man because, you know, how can I say this? A lot of people, they look at her style and her build and her body type, and for a lot of them, it's not quote unquote womanly. And so they're looking at her from a I don't quote unquote find you sexually attractive, so how can this man quote unquote find you sexually attractive?
That's where I see it. I'm not 100% following the it has to be for men thing, you know, only because the people I see going at her seem to be women. It's not men going, yeah, she getting played by this dude. Like, it's a lot of, like, if anything, and I can see how this is part of the problem, but a lot of the men are like literally on her side. Men that normally never support women are even on her side. So it's like, to me, it's weird to see so many black women tell her, you're not actually being played. He doesn't love you. You're not, and I can only believe that's because they truly think she can't be loved.
Yeah, because and for a percentage of those women, a lot of it comes from their own hurt and pain and rejection, and they haven't worked through whatever it is or healed or whatever they got to do to get past.
Oh, absolutely. It's like when that person wrote up and was like, I don't like how I talk, and I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm not changing anything. We're happy. So unfortunately for you, you just gotta find something else to listen to, because we're not changing how we interact with each other because one person lost their fucking mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, I can't even imagine if we were famous, and every time we posted something about each other, people were in our comments talking about us crazy. And what happens is when these famous people react, people use that as the proof that they were right, as opposed to maybe this is a human being and we're wrong, and we won't let it go. So
y'all harassing
we're
them.
making it seem like they're tripping when we're tripping, you know, but whatever. But yeah, I know that I don't even know if Appy understood everything we just said, but that's what I think is happening. Sean says about instrumental diss tracks. I remember back in the day, Stybelt ran into town and picked the beef with Beethoven. Stybelt went up and riffed on his original piece, creating the effect of a storm. Is it Beethoven or Beethoven? It's Beethoven, right? I think it's Beethoven.
That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, I see the two E's. Beethoven pronunciation. Let me see. I've been saying it. Yeah, Bay. Okay, so it's Beethoven. Yeah, he was originally. So when people say they're in the Bay Hive, I always assume they're in the Beethoven Hive.
That's the wrong Bay.
If you understand how you say the word Beyonce, that's what the Beehive is. Okay, brothers, pay attention. Anyway, Stybelt went up and riffed on his original piece, creating the effect of a storm. Eventually, Beethoven sauntered up lazily. He took Stybelt's piece and turned it upside down. He then used that to go into a half hour where he completely upstaged Stybelt in every way imaginable. Classical beef is no joke. About the McFish, may your joke rest in McPower. Thanks, buddy. I had some good stuff about the McBurger too. I had a whole thing.
You had a whole skit. My bad. I killed it.
It happens. Gotta let it go sometimes. About the teacher, as someone who said who has been way too many educational institution meetings involving teachers, verbosity understates the situation, and the TikTok teacher, I have one thing to say to him: get your shit together, get it all together, put it in the backpack, all your shit, so it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, take it somewhere, you know, take it to the shit store and sell it, or put it in the shit museum. I don't care what you do, just got to get it together, get your shit together. I think Morty said that.
Yes, Morty did.
About gay animals, I have a newspaper clipping from a while back that reads 1 in 10 rams.
That's hilarious.
About research related to animal husbandry, other than bonobos, most mammals demonstrate around 10% pure homosexuality, with a higher percentage of animals having bisexual behavior. Bonobos are almost universally pansexual. I don't know what a bonobos is. I gotta search Google to see what that is. All I'm seeing is clothes. Oh, it's a chimpanzee. Okay. All right, cool. Let's see. Nature Boy says, hi, Rod and Karen. I always appreciate that you guys actually take time to read and respond to listen to feedback. It's a great way to engage and interact and converse with your audience. Thank you. I wanted to comment on a question someone asked during this episode about the Diddy video probably being the worst celebrity video we have seen. Unfortunately, I saw something that aired on VH1 many years ago that showed a well-known Bronx rapper who passed away in 2000 perform one of the most disturbing acts of domestic violence. It is your show, and if you choose to read further, I will leave it to you and Karen, but it was horrific. Oh, no, I've heard about this. Big pun. I've never seen the video. And I've mostly only seen people not really outraged at domestic violence, but then they make the joke about he was so fat that his wife, after he abused her, just went up the stairs and he couldn't get up the stairs, so he couldn't continue to abuse her. And the joke was, ha ha ha, he's so fat. The big rapper is caught on his own security camera having a disagreement with his wife over the location of a gun, as it was reported, and proceeds to punish her by pistol whipping her. Immediately, she begins to bleed. Eventually, the footage shows that he finds what he was looking for and attempts to cuddle with her while she's still bleeding. I know this isn't the abuse Olympics. I'm not trying to compare, but that footage is burned into my brain. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. Yeah, I've just never seen it. What happens next? After seeing this, I was conflicted and felt an odd physical feeling whenever his verses would pop up on songs. I pretty much avoided his albums, not as protest, but more to limit that odd feeling. This past weekend, I was with family and 112 Only You remix came on, and Diddy's voice elicited a similar feeling. I guess we'll see what happens, who supports and who continues to be associated with P. Diddy. P.S. I accidentally posted this comment to the Glocks and Glaucoma episode. Please ignore it. All right, I'll delete that one. But yeah, I feel you on everything you just said, and I don't know what you do. The problem is we are so individually, it's not new. It's almost always, no, it is new. I'm sorry. It is new. We are so individually consuming our music, right?
Yes.
So we're not turning on the radio station. We're not watching MTV.
It's not a collective
Yo MTV
anymore.
raps.
Yeah.
So what you decide to play or not play, totally up to you. No one even has to know unless you want people to know.
Right.
So technically, we'll find out if enough people are like, I'm done with anything Bad Boy related, anything Diddy related, which is
a catalog,
is a huge imprint over all of hip hop. Period. I was listening to a playlist the other day, and it's not a playlist I made. I just hit playlist, and I want to say, like, within 2-3 songs, a Bad Boy song, and then 2 songs at a Bad Boy song, and then it's just
because Diddy was in everything. People underestimate. Well, he had his fingerprints in everything. You know, anything that came out, he was always featured in just about any and everything that came out at that time. He was in other people's shit. Like, it was like a whole 10, 12, maybe 15 years where literally anything that came out anywhere, just about, he was imprinted in it. So like you said, that's a huge chunk of music to just be like, I'm done.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll see that. And damn, I just realized I never put the episode for the end of the week up on YouTube. I thought I did. Oh man, now I gotta check to see my content. But yeah, I really do wonder if that'll be like a thing, because you need process abandoned, video failed to upload. Okay, that's what happened. All right, well we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, I think what happens with that situation is a guy like Diddy will only see if everyone individually decides to stop fucking with him, and then collectively whatever. Now to me, he ain't really making music.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know the last thing I listened, and Bad Boy was part of it.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
You know, like
He's
I
had a
don't.
whole, like you say, almost 10 years where people go, "Are you really listening for Diddy?" I know I'm not.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think. Maybe if we get a little bit more, like if there's a trial, because I think that helps. Because once you have an actual guilty verdict, for some reason everyone starts pretending they weren't defending these niggas. Same thing happened with Bill Cosby. Same thing happened with Weinstein. All these people. As soon as you get the guilty verdict, there's a deluge of people that, like, right away you get the, man, see, this is fucked up. But within a while, like maybe a month or so, almost everybody's on the same, like, yeah, they did do it. And so I think maybe that'll help. But, you know, I don't know musically what it'll matter, especially once he gave the publishing back to so many of his artists. Right. I don't even know who gets the money from what now. So whatever. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Comments on YouTube. We got 4 comments. Coach Donnie says, I have a question about BET. I understand it's owned by Paramount Global CBS Entertainment Group. Recently, in an interview with Chris Broussard, Karen made a remark about his daughter who works for BET. What about BET? I think you're talking about Karen Hunter when we were on the Karen Hunter show. And
okay, I think I did.
And I think you should probably leave this comment on the Karen Hunter.
Yeah, that makes sense. This Karen can't answer that question. This imitation Karen cannot answer that question.
Well, also, I can't answer the question. It was a comment Karen made. So just ask Karen Hunter and you know, be respectful and don't get cussed out or nothing. But ask Karen Hunter what she feels about BET, because that was something she said. I can't answer that for her.
Yeah, she would have more knowledge on that.
I don't want to put no words in her mouth. Kim Doc says, can the producer of Bad Built Butch Body music you play every production and the I Want to Call Her One clip from Snoop Dogg? Oh, can he add the I Want to Call Her One from Snoop Dogg? In my head, I was saying it between all the lines. Oh my God, I'm crying right now. Oh yeah, instead of that, what now? Can I call her one? Shix B says that they said that the real Teen Randall's dad passed when he was a baby, so that really had me balling when Jack was there. Oh, Sheiks. Okay, it's pronounced Sheiks. Okay, thank you, Sheiks. Kim Doc says, Toy, who left the message, is completely on point. Any student on my science and STEM related social media posts and reels has given us permission and verbal consent to have their child's faces used, the parents. Okay. I truly hope that young man pulls his head out of his behind and gets back to the true work. I remember listening to a group of black people say they've never had a black male teacher at all. My first black male teacher was my U.S. history teacher in 11th grade. More of them are needed, just not the kinds that are doing the sort of things and being toxic when there's discourse and consequences.
Agreed.
I love to all the Black Autist community and to Rod and Karen. 4 heart, black heart emojis. Thank you, Kim Doc.
Yeah, because the thing is, they are needed. You do need them out there, but you can't do this and expect you being one of the few black males to be an excuse for your behavior. Nobody else is doing this, and it would not be acceptable to another group.
And I see Kim Doc posting with the kids and the girls that she's teaching all the time, and it's adorable content. It's almost always related to them learning something, whether they're in the lab or something, and it's not them. And not that I'm saying I would necessarily find it to be like so off-putting, but it's not them having manicures and pedis. It's not the kids washing her car or whatever. They could be doing that stuff. I'm not saying they're not, but there's a reason you don't post that as content. It's because it's like in this capacity, my role is to show people the education I'm giving these kids and the opportunities I'm bringing them. Here's us going to a museum. Why the fuck would I post us doing something other than that? And it just, the defensiveness, I think, really ended the debate for most people. When he got super defensive, it's like, okay, because we didn't even get no more feedback on his side. So I feel like the vast majority of people were like, okay, I'm tapping out. But yeah, I think it, and it's totally fine because that we feel this way. Part of the protection or the wanting to give him a shot is about the lack of black male teachers in these schools and how much we need people to see. We know that affinity matters to people. We know that it connects, and we know how the school to prison pipeline works. We know how oppressive and punishing this system can be on black kids, and when I say black male teacher, I'm not even limiting it to like, because the black boys need to see that. The black girls need to see it too. A figure that you can trust, who's professional, who you can depend on, who's smart, who's in a position of authority. Everyone could use a healthy representative of a role model of a type of person you don't get to see all the time.
Right.
So to abuse that trust, to abuse our longing for that, and then to turn and be like, well, you got women with big butts teaching and y'all don't say nothing. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're wrong. All right, next episode is 2911 Glock and Glaucoma. We got what is this? 10 comments. All right. Let's see. We got Erica, who we saw at the store one time. Hey, Rod and Karen, it's Erica. While I don't consider fast food a luxury, I do agree that it's gotten quite expensive. I remember when Chipotle was $5.25 for a chicken burrito or a bowl. Now it's almost $10.
Yeah, I'm about to say, woo, Chad, that was many years ago.
The good old days. You can get a loaf of bread for a nickel too.
Yes, you could.
I went to Panera and spent almost $20 for soup and salad. They say it's cheaper to eat at home. However, grocery prices are sky high too. That's true. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I'm with you. Everything costs a lot now. Nothing's like you find a good deal now. It's like, what? I still like, they're the only places I know that consistently have good deals that the prices are not killing me right now are Chinese food spots. I don't know why. I don't know what the rules are. But those are the places where you can still get that, $7.95 combo and it be rice, some food, and egg roll and all this shit. Everybody else is just like, nah, that's $30 now, dog.
Right.
I hope you didn't want to eat the whole Big Mac.
Right. And they be like, why Chinese place jumping? That's you looking like that's because they right they ranks ain't through the roof.
Right. Like you fucking buy a combo from McDonald's and they send you that, like, do you want to use that program where you can break it into payments?
Oh, buy now, pay later.
Yeah, like you can make 4 payments on this quarter pounder meal.
Chad, don't be giving them no ideas in the next few years. That's gonna be an option for real.
I'm pretty sure it's probably already that. I'm surprised it's not happening when I go to the grocery store. Like, I don't remember the last time I got out the grocery store and wasn't like, damn. I just, like, at this point, I'm just like, grocery store trip, I'm just marking it down for $100 and hoping I come up short.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't
hope I get everything on my list.
I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even look at the numbers no more. I'd be like, oh, a bowl of fruit. Cool. Then when they ring it up, it'd be like $8. I'm like, I guess that's what a bowl of fruit is now.
Ain't that the truth? A box of cereal, $7.95, I guess.
Shout out to Trump's war with China.
People don't talk about that. Yeah, he made shit go up tremendously.
Let's see. Okay, so then this is the one that Nature Boy told me to delete because it's a duplicate comment. So I got you, brother. Let me move this to the trash. And go to the next comment, which is from Ronan Raphael. Man, what did this episode not have? First, shout out to Karen for starting things off. As soon as I heard "fuck thee," I knew this was going to be an episode. No other podcast could keep me interested with such openness. You had Man Eating Face, Earl, the legend, rest in peace. Walker, I hope that he takes that money to the grave and never gives it to the RNC. Thanks for that story. Rod even forgot to play the Rod is Right song over Travis Scott. I never understood why the rules changed for him. However, I get the lawsuits from the families, as you had explained in previous episodes. The online blame was just weird. I don't know the man's music, but I got tired of seeing people clout chasing on he needs to go to jail. Yeah, everything on social media is just trash. I don't know.
Yeah, you realize.
I miss Drake versus Kendrick.
Me too. Yeah, yeah. You realize how many people don't know basic things. You go, oh, you don't know. It don't function like
it's
this.
just everything's to 10.
Yeah, yes.
So it's
yes,
just,
and I can't function like that.
and
so
you're only rewarded by going to 10. If you say anything that is 5,
right.
both of the 10s get mad on both sides.
Yes,
it's
they
too
do.
much. It's too much. Like yesterday was Race War 3.0.
Yes, it was.
Chicago Sky Angels team versus Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's team. And of course, sides were right back on. It was like nothing ever happened. I don't even know if they watched other games or not. I can't tell. There's a lot of new fans to the WNBA.
Yes, it is.
And even me as a fan from Charlotte Sting time, I'm watching more WNBA this year than I was last year and the year before.
I agree. Yes,
so this effect is real. I think it is. People are simplifying it to the Caitlin Clark effect, and the truth is, and I will stand by this, and I won't back down. It is the race effect. It is not the Caitlin Clark effect.
Agreed.
If and I'm not saying Caitlin Clark wouldn't have moved the needle on her own. She would have. Was the leading scorer in NCAA history for so that she would have moved the needle. But the addition of us turning it into a black versus white thing, that is America's pastime.
Yep.
And so now you got people that wouldn't have been interested in either way, and I mean black people and white people and all in between,
wouldn't have cared less,
who are now, because there's been badass white girls coming into the league for a minute.
It's been balling.
They got one on LA right now. It's not like Cam is a bad one. This is not some like, oh my God, only white girls get this or whatever. It's a complicated thing. But it's not as simple as just she's white, the end. Like Sabrina's white, Brianna's white. Like it's not that simple. But to a lot of people, it's that they want to work backwards to make it that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So watching social media yesterday was amazing because it was just hot take at the hot take to the extreme on both sides of this thing. And I feel like that's the Travis Scott thing. That's everything. Is it just gets hot take at the hot take to now you got an extreme to like, lock him up. He is a murderer. And you're like,
yeah, because you have to keep pushing that bar.
Right. And I'm like looking at this online that weekend, like, guys, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't even think that's realistic.
Right. When has this ever been done before? Like, this doesn't make sense, y'all.
Like, okay, if you think he's criminally negligent, what is your proof?
Right.
Showing clips of other people stopping their shows and be like, hey, this person fell. Everybody stop, help her up. That's not proving that he's a fucking murderer.
Right.
And then there's like clips of him doing that on his own shows. Like, you're not going to be able to prove that. But yeah, it got out of control. I said a lot of goddamn listen to this episode. Great episode. An excellent take as always on the Diddy News and everything. Henry Earl is an inspiration for anyone who wants to be like in the Guinness Book of Records. Just believe. Michael says, I'm here for Karen's paper straw rant. I remember being a kid in the 90s and laughing at my dad when he said they used to make straws out of paper back in the day. Of course, they dissolve and are terrible. And now we still get tons of single-use plastic stuff at these restaurants, but only the straw is paper.
Right. And
they're supposed to think this means we're saving the planet. Okay. Give me my plastic straw or one of those compostable plastic ones, okay?
Right, because a lot of the responsibility of the not individual, the mass recycling actually needs to fall on the companies and shit like this. They don't want to do it, so they quote unquote push it down to us, and their quote unquote thing of doing better is, like you say, making cheap shit that nobody wants. So then you be like, well, fuck it, I just won't use a straw. And some places now don't even use straws or have straws, and then I'm like, okay, the fuck? How do you know everybody wants to drink straight out the cup?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to share also regarding eating heads of animals, and it's a Jewish custom on Rosh Hashanah, Jewish New Year, to eat some of the head meat from an animal or fish for good luck, since the name of the holiday literally means head of the year. Oh, I thought Karen Steffens won that, but okay. I was with some Hungarian Jews one year who convinced me to eat a fish eye. It wasn't something I repeat, but maybe it brought me some luck. How would you know? How would you know if it brought you luck or not? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to go to Earth 2 and where you didn't eat the fish eye and see if your year turned out exactly the same. Your Thunder says, I found this article about Henry Earl and the people who took care of him and attended his funeral. He sounds like a sweet soul. Yeah, and this is from, I guess, Lexington, Kentucky or whatever, and it's the title is You Couldn't Meet Henry Earl and Not Love Him. Lexington icon dies at 74.
Oh, this must be one of them towns where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
It must have been like Mayberry or something.
Yes.
It's like, oh no, he just a town drunk. We lock him up every weekend. He get out on Monday, go to work
and be good. He a good man.
Well, good, man. I'm glad people loved him, man. I'm glad that it wasn't just, you know, I mean, just because he was getting arrested doesn't necessarily mean he was a bad person.
Right.
Langston says, about the Guess the Race story, the victim was serving face and face eater ate. No crumbs. Hilarious. Avia says, my company started to offer electric cars as company cars. When it's my turn again in 2 years, I might get one. It's good for taxes as of until 2030. I would only pay 25% of the taxes I pay for a regular car. And I think we can install a wall box for charging it at home. Oh, the sexy tax talk. I love being an adult. Yeah, we have an apartment, so we couldn't even like, I don't even know how we would charge an electric vehicle staying where we stay.
I don't even know. I don't know if it's a thing for apartment complexes to have chargers like in the parking lot.
I'd imagine they do.
Okay.
I mean, why wouldn't it be a thing? But I just know we don't got it.
Right.
Diddy seems pretty done right now, and not the full story. What could be on it to make it seem better, right? I saw enough of the story. It's kind of like when you see 2/3 of a movie and you walk out the theater.
Yeah, right. You got the gist.
Diddy, there's no third act that's gonna redeem what the fuck I saw, bro. Like, there's nothing to. It was a fly on her face. Like, no, go to jail. Unless we change the genre to fantasy, she's reality a huge alien shapeshifter who was violent towards him, only to change into the shape of a human woman exactly when the video started. I can't imagine anything that would excuse him. Yeah, not even AI can make that. Sean says, to clarify my vote in the poll, I do not consider fast food a luxury because I don't consider it at all. Other than the sausage McMuffin set once or twice a year, I don't eat it. Sorry if I broke your science. Well, I guess the sad part is you're a very smart person and you write up here and you pontificate and you write long things that require us to, you know, do deep, intimate research. So to know that my poll was too smart for you, it makes me feel good. I'm like, oh, okay, even Sean can have an off day.
Everybody can have an off day. Yes,
I mean, you immediately understood your mistake and that you probably fucked up and needed to clarify. So, I mean, at least you understood. But yeah, I would have known that I would just either not vote in the poll for that because I'm like, oh, I'm on some other shit. So let me not fuck up his poll. But, you know, maybe you clicked too fast and then you thought about it and said, damn, I fucked up. I appreciate the apology and I accept it.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention the poll for the last one was, did you drink enough water today? And 54% of the audience did, 46% did not. So,
get your water intake up.
Which is sad because when you took this poll, you could have chugged a gallon of water real quick.
We wouldn't have known.
Said yes. But you said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just drink not enough water and tell the poll no. EVE says, I hate those paper straws to me too, but my solution for restaurants that don't give out straws anymore is to have those crappy paper straws as my reusable metal straw. I keep it on my keychain, so it's always with me. It's in a little capsule, so it extends to the length of a cup. When you take it out, it's a game changer and very inexpensive. I got a box of them from Amazon for less than $10. Also, with that one, how do you keep it clean? That would be my question. Yeah. Now, are you just using a different every time or what?
Yeah, and my thing is, I done paid for it and they be done took it away. But hey, give my straw.
Took away what?
You know how they come clean your table? You be like, hey, give my straw for you roll out of here with my glass.
Yeah, I guess that's why you get 10 of them.
Apparently so.
That's a great point. The dump party that has taken over the Republican Party are all a bunch of grifters, which may end up costing them in the end. They're also money hungry. They will end up bankrupting themselves because someone always has their hands in the cookie jar. I hope they not only go broke, but drop dead as well. Fuck them. Agreed. It's honestly like trying to work with a virus. You know, it's like Republicans let a virus into their system to be like, and it'll make us stronger, and this virus is just killing them. Like it's a virus.
Yeah, it don't care nothing about you. You're the host, and the virus is designed to kill the host.
Yeah, it's like every iteration of the Spider-Man Venom story with the symbiote, where the symbiote eventually takes over, and you gotta get the fuck off of you. And they just refuse. They just like, no, they're Eddie Brock. You know, they're like us. You know, it's like, hey, bro, that thing is making you eat brains. Yeah. That was not the plan when you put it on. I know it wasn't the plan.
Right, there's something wrong here.
You can't trick me into thinking that you in control. Right. You just ate a brain.
I see one person and you talking about we. No, right. We have a problem here.
Let's see. Comments on YouTube. Kim Doc says the unfollow as social capital is the most silent coward shit that the general public put stock into. Shaking my head. They've said nothing. That's fine by me. They don't really owe me anything. I can just see them hitting unfollow and have a look of satisfaction like, yes, I've done my duty. That's enough. Let's go to Nobu. I hear you, Kim Doc, except I would say most of us have participated in that. And I know for me, I've never really felt like I've done my part as much as I mostly felt sad. Because if I hovered over that unfollow, it's because I didn't want that to be true. Or I didn't want to accept that you're a bad person. Or I didn't want to, you know, whatever. But I do understand, like, if I'm Steph Curry, yeah, I'm just unfollowing Diddy. What the fuck do I need to say? Did y'all not see the tape? Are you waiting on Steph Curry to tell you it's wrong to beat Cassie in front of? I think I don't even think they do it and they go, "Let me call TMZ, guys. I just unfollowed Diddy." Like, we're the ones following the shit, so I get it. If someone was following my follows and unfollows and then reporting them as news, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not putting out a statement. I just didn't want to see that nigga on my timeline."
Right?
The fuck y'all want from me?
Sometimes muting ain't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't a whatever y'all think it is. It was as simple as when you unfollow somebody. I said, that's enough, Diddy.
And also it's one of the things where they don't follow common people like they do celebrities. Like for some people,
that's what I said.
Yeah, their whole thing is you're famous. So I sit, and anytime I see your number count go up and down, I'm checking.
If y'all follow my follows and unfollows and start writing into the show like, what happened with so-and-so? I wouldn't say shit either. And like I said, I just wouldn't associate the word cowardice with it because I don't feel like they're making a stand. I think we're the ones turning it into some type of stand when they're more than likely just like, fuck this nigga and I'm out. You know? Kim Doc says Trump got booed at a libertarian event. He burned them with that 3% every election cycle. That was a good line. I agree. Sounds like the boos when we guess the race wrong. I love it. Educate to Free Us said he forgot the pen. He putting his jersey number in that ATM. Thank you, Educate to Free Us. I'm glad that joke got you. Gina says the not a perfect victim issue is so true. You literally blame yourself for being in that circumstance. That guilt and fear is part of what keeps so many people from reporting and what predators use to keep survivors silent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't abuse everybody. So when people talk about it, it's like, he's a great guy. He didn't do nothing to me. Of course, abusers don't abuse everybody. I don't know why people don't understand that. That don't mean the act didn't happen because they didn't put their hands on you.
Yeah, I think about that with J-Lo and Diddy. Where like what Diddy did to Kim and Cassie and others, he probably didn't do to J-Lo. Knowing one, people see her as bigger than him even. People covet and protect her. He still put her in some bullshit with that shooting at the club. And she was like, I'm the fuck out of here. This is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And he kept pursuing her and kept doing all these gestures
and shit, and she was like,
and she never came back. But the point being, like, these people are not fucking stupid. They know who they can get away with and who the public covets and cares about.
Yes.
You know, it's my belief behind the black trans women dying at such a much higher rate than any other group in this country per capita. And it's like, yes, because people know the people who are killing them. They absolutely know, there's much less likely that I'm going to get in any sort of justice about this. Like, I won't be punished for this more than likely. They won't even give a fuck. And it says something about our society that it is that way. But these people are navigating our society. They're not just uncontrollable idiots, which is what I think a lot of people in their mind, that's the stereotype we think of when we think of abuse, is, you know, or sexual assault, or what. It's always the guy jumping out the bushes. It's always the, well, what does she have on? Because that would imply that they become sexually aroused and then they can't help themselves. It's always something of the, that just belittles their intelligence. And then because of that, because they belittle the abuser, the attacker's intelligence, it turns the people who've been attacked from victims into complicit, right? Because, well, the rest of us knew not to wear that dress. Oh, it would never happen because I would not go to that hotel. Oh, nah, it can't happen because, you know, you should know not to be friends with a man. You know, what? It's never just rape is wrong and you shouldn't do it. It's always just some level of like, you just didn't understand to navigate the rule. And I think people do it because it makes them feel safer. Like, oh, because I do understand the rules. This will never happen. I'll never be sexually assaulted. I'll never be.
Or if it did, you have to deny it, because if you accept it, that meant something happened to you.
Or you've done it.
Right.
You've been in that whatever gray area or whatever. You've done it and you don't want to believe that's a gray area. Or you just don't want to deal with, this is a thing that is happening to people. And it's happening even when it's somebody whose music you like. You don't want to deal with it. So you say shit like the victim's not perfect. But I applaud the bravery of anybody that comes forward, especially the quote unquote not perfect victim, because there's no perfect victims. But especially the ones where it is a bit messy, because that takes the most courage. Because honestly, if you listen to the people who are detractors in those situations, what they're really saying is rape is not wrong if you made some mistakes or you did some decisions that I don't agree with.
Right.
So if you went to Harvey Weinstein's hotel room and he told you it was a business meeting and he said there was going to be other people there, but when you got there, he hopped on you and sexually assaulted you. Well, I don't have to feel bad that he sexually assaulted you. You just wanted to get in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's turned into like, these are supposed to be good moral people that are like rape is wrong and shit, and they'll make that fucking argument, that devil's, you know, advocate ass argument. I've seen people make that argument and I'm just like, what's wrong with you though?
Right.
Because are we saying rape is wrong or is not that wrong? Which one is it? Have you done it? Would you do that to someone?
Right. And when you start asking the question, no, what in the fuck you talking about?
Right. Like, first of all, I'm not a meet me in my hotel nigga, but if there was a situation where it's like we're meeting in a hotel for business and someone comes in my room, I'm not like, well, she shouldn't have did that. This ain't on me. Like, only a fucking rapist would think like that. Why are you so aligned with that?
Right.
Like with that thinking. Good, righteous, moral person. Kim Doc says, police showed up to the funeral to arrest Henry Earl just one more time for the road.
That's hilarious.
They put the cuffs on them. Did a 21 gun salute.
Yes, they did. Kept them in business.
Leonard says, hold up. Does Karen pour her milk before pouring the cereal? She's an official wild cowgirl for that. LOL. She does.
I do.
She does. All right. That's it for the YouTube comments. The poll was, do you consider fast food a luxury now? 40% said yes. 60% said no.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean that's still high, even if it's lower than that 80% that was in that 40% is still high. All right, and then keep in mind, Sean said no because he don't eat fast food, which throws the poll off. So it's even higher than 40%. Really?
Yes, it is.
Change the Locks on the City was the last episode of the week, and unfortunately, it didn't post to YouTube, so I have to fix that for everybody. Sorry. 4 comments. Bamil73 says, why was I laughing so hard at the too horrible fucking with black people story? Laughter was so inappropriate. With the airline one, I just pictured a white flight attendant sniffing the air, then saying, I smell cocoa putter, Afro Sheen, and Soul Glow. Gee Willikers, these niggers get these niggers off. There's niggers on this plane. Okay. With the blackface journalist one, I just pictured Tropic Thunder 2 where Kirk Lazarus goes undercover as a Negro journalist to blow the lid off this racism thing. On another less relevant note, isn't it ironic, don't you think, that Drake's entries in the beef were some of the best rapping he's ever done, while Kendrick's entries were like mid-level on the Kendrick scale while still being the astronomically better songs in the beef? A mill. Yeah, that is ironic, I guess. Yeah. Although I will say Not Like Us is one of Kendrick's best songs of all time. Just maybe not because it's so complex lyrically.
Deep, yeah.
But that's something he's been trying to do. Or maybe that's the thing. He hasn't truly been trying to do it. But that's something he's never done before.
Right.
Was give us something that was a hit like that. No assistance, no help. Just bam. Abia says, I wonder if Diddy might go to jail. What do you think? I also can't imagine this author who pretends to be black could be real, but who knows? Yeah, I still think that guy's a troll. And as for Diddy going to jail, let's see what happens when they bring these charges.
Yep, see what happens.
Yeah, I think if the feds bring charges, he going to jail. This just is what it is. 10% chance, 5% chance you beat that. That's not
high.
DOJ come for your ass. I think the way he gets out of that is somehow Trump gets elected and then his Department of Justice is like, but we love rape. And then he never gets prosecuted.
Agreed.
But just in general, I can't imagine if the feds decide to charge him that he gets out of that. EV says Diddy needs to be exactly where R. Kelly is, in prison. I believe he's guilty of everything they said he did, and anyone defending him is garbage too. I don't know what event was worse, that Bluey event or the Willy Wonka experience. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. That was crazy, too. Them people were mad, too.
Man, people will fight you over their kids, too. I'm surprised ain't nobody get fucked up.
Right.
These scammers are making money by taking advantage of parents with kids. They see the kids like a certain show or character and try to come with a bogus event to defraud the masses. Can't believe they thought the guy in the Bluey onesie was acceptable. If I was a parent at that event, someone's getting punched.
I'm surprised they didn't get the ruckus.
Abia says, by the way, isn't Scalia dead? I know you thought of another awful judge. Scalia can't do much in this world anymore besides maybe some haunting somewhere. Yeah, that was my joke. I was referencing that he died. I think I even said at one point the only way to get a conservative justice off the ballot, off of the bench, is that we keep electing a Democrat, because they're not going to retire under Biden or whatever Democrat is in office if they can help it. So then you got to hope you get a Scalia. And that's what I will say. They die. I don't hate to spell out a joke, but they die while the person's in office. I just didn't want to say they die. So
no problem.
Anyway, the poll, have you ever had food thrown at you by a stranger? 12% yes, 87% no. God, y'all should have wrote in with those 12% stories. I need to know what the fuck happened. A stranger throwing food at you? That's crazy. Wow.
I've seen a chair thrown at somebody in the cafeteria in college, but that's about it.
At you? Something thrown at you?
No, because I'm not doing anything to provoke that.
Yeah, I just want to know. Maybe they weren't doing anything. I just want to know. All right, y'all. Let's get to the next segment. We got to get to some voicemails. Love that beat flip. All right. Voicemail 704-557-0186, the voicemail line. Looks like we got 3, but you never know. Some of these be butt dials, but I think Kiana.
Hey, Rod and Karen, this is Kiana. I'm listening to the most recent episode. I think it's called Glocks and Glaucoma. First of all, y'all are killing me with the names of these shows. I cackled so goddamn loud this morning when I put the show on because, anyway, the title's off the hook. Y'all are talking about the Diddy and Cassie tape and how people were like, or Diddy was like, this doesn't, the video doesn't reflect the whole story. And it made me think about something that I said back when Meg Thee Stallion and the Tory Lanez, and I don't even want to phrase it like that, when the Tory Lanez trial was happening because he shot Megan Thee Stallion, and it came out that she had been dishonest about the fact that her and Tory Lanez had sex. And I was talking to somebody at that time, and they were like, well, I don't even know what that has to do with anything. And I said to that person, it matters because a lot of people think under the right circumstances, it is absolutely okay to go hands on with your partner. If they do
Yes.
this particular thing, then it's okay for you to beat them or to hurt them. And a lot of people, because they think that way, they absolutely were like, well, if they were sleeping together, she had to have done something to provoke him enough to shoot her. When in reality, there's no reason that anybody should have done what Tory Lanez did to Meg Thee Stallion. Like, it really is like the bat signal for abusive motherfuckers to be like, oh, yeah, we think the same way. It's also that weird thing that we do of like how we deify celebrities, but that's a whole separate conversation. But yeah, under the right circumstances, a lot of motherfuckers think they can put their hands on a significant other, sadly. So anyway, that's it. Hope y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, and I agree. And a lot of people use it as a signal to just put their hand, particularly a lot of men, to put their hand on women. Just something happens so fucked up and online, and I see the videos, and women getting their asses whooped, and all of a sudden, all these scenarios that will never happen to you in your fucking lifetime, all of a sudden it's justified, and you would do this and you would do this when you know that 99.9% of the time, not trying funny, ain't no woman jumping out no bushes, ain't no woman stabbing you, ain't no woman got a gun. Most of the time y'all are whooping bitches' asses the end. And I think a lot of times men have these internal things where women irritate them and make them mad, and they don't know how to internally deal with whatever the thing is that makes them dislike or hashtag hate women. You need to go address those things, but instead of doing that, you quote unquote call yourself a good person and going, well, I don't beat my, the women around me, but let it be somebody I don't know, I'll whoop her ass. Well, it's the same thing in my mind, because it's still somebody that you are stronger than, and at any period of time you could take their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's toxic either way as a man, but I feel like that I lean on the side of like being a protector, meaning like I've never thought I'm gonna put my hands on my wife because she ain't do something. I'm more like I had to put my hands on somebody if they try to do something to my wife. That's the kind of thinking I have when I leave the house. It's never, don't embarrass me. I'm like, you better not try to embarrass my wife type of thing, which is its own weird toxicity.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I think people just really lean heavily into the ownership part of relationships. And it's a very childish and simplistic understanding, but it's also a very dangerous one, because when you think you own somebody, the things that you take away their autonomy and the things that you can and will do to that person under the auspices of either you know better than them or they better not do blank that makes you feel away. It's unconscionable the lengths that people will go to and justify going to, and then just in general misogyny. People would love to put their hands on women because it's something you're not supposed to do anymore, even though it happens all the time and people don't get in trouble for it most of the time. So yeah, there's just this is to me what people sound like when they talk about that is like white people who bemoan you can't say the N-word or something. And you're like, but you can, and you will probably not face any true consequences. But why the fuck are you so obsessed with that?
Right.
Like, why do you, what is it to you that you need to be able to call me the N-word? Like, what's like with no consequences and I just need to accept it? Like, what is it that needs that? I don't ever want to go back to a time where you could just hit women and there was zero repercussions that women had. I don't want to go back to that. And on just a general note, I watch a couple of TV shows on TV One. Y'all know I watch a lot of dark. I forget what it's called. True crime. I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and Fatal Attraction and For My Man are two of my favorite shows. And when I tell you, like, I wouldn't even be joking, 95% of those episodes are just a man killing the woman that he was romantically entangled with. Just, and not clever, not smart, not just I do not see you as a person. I can kill you. And that's why, like, I don't get involved in these disputes with the man or the bear type shit, because it's like men can be and are dangerous all the time, and then men justify it. the ones who claim not to be dangerous will justify the dangerous ones in their minds and in some type of way, and that is scary as fuck. Because how I know you're not just as dangerous? I gotta wait till we in the situation. I'm never risking that.
Correct. And then, it's one of those things. I know men don't be wanting to hear this, but when black men go, I can't tell the difference between the police, and then women go, I can't tell the difference in y'all. It's like, nah, we individuality. Well, when some of the good ones are quote unquote coming for the bad ones, how else am I, as somebody who's on the receiving end, supposed to perceive that?
Right.
The same way you look at it when it comes to cops. I don't see a difference.
Yeah. So I just can't. Yeah, I'll never be able to like justify, and it's one of those things that happens too much for us to even really, for me, not us. I know other people feel differently, but it happens way too much for me to joke about.
Right.
It's the dudes making jokes, stand-up comedians making jokes about like hitting women or killing a trans person because they quote unquote tricked them and shit like that. I'll never see it as funny because we haven't earned the ability to laugh at as a society. For me, it's happening, and it's happening even when it's not real. People are using that in court as an excuse and getting away with murder. So no, I actually don't find it hilarious, any more hilarious than if I watched that black comedian that talked about agreeing with Kyle Rittenhouse and how much he loved George Floyd getting killed and shit. I don't have to find it funny just because you're on stage with a mic.
Agreed. And for me is one of those things where it is what it is, and people don't want to accept the reality of that's how people feel. And it's one of those things when people make these quote unquote blanketed statements for you, and you make a blanketed statement, it's justified. Somebody else make a blanketed statement about you just across the board.
Right.
All of a sudden we got to hear you cry and holler and fall out and pass out and faint, when in reality that person might be valid in that statement out of their experiences that they've had in the past.
Let's see. Next voicemail, blank. I'm just gonna block this number. No more.
Oh, they keep that number keep calling?
Yeah, it just keeps calling.
Okay, yeah.
So block.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. This I think this is another blank. All right, and you're blocked. So we won't be dealing with you anymore. All right, time to go to the emails. So let me get that. Someone said murder porn is what his partner calls those shows. I guess I watch murder porn, although I don't find it sexually arousing, and I feel like porn gets a bad rap because we just throw porn on anything to mean bad, and I'm like, I don't think pornography is bad, so maybe call it something else if you want to shame me. But yeah, I watch murder porn, and on TV1 has the best version of it because it's the only one that completely errs on the side of making people that typically we look down on a society, they normalize it. You know what I mean? So like I laugh at, sometimes I roll my eyes at how hard they go, because sometimes it's really not like, it's someone just murdered somebody and they're just like, Tanisha was a very good student, and she, even though she got a surprise at the age of 15 when she found out she was pregnant. I'm like, oh, she got pregnant at 15, but they say like it was a baby miracle was born. And I'm like, oh, okay, this seems like she was headed down a dark path. Pregnant, and then when she was pregnant again by Derek, who she met, and they go through how they met, and it's always like they met at a car wash when she was washing her car and he was selling drugs. He was very well liked in the community. I'm like, oh, she was dating a drug dealer and got pregnant mom at 15. Well, this is going to end bad, So anyway, TV1, they're the only ones that know how to do it.
And another reason why I like those shows is because it's about us, if that makes sense.
Well, see, that's the thing about those shows.
They're not all about us.
I watch more of them than you.
Okay.
And they really should be calling these shows something a little. It's not really about us as much as it's like involving race of some way.
Yeah.
So like,
sometimes people
it's always somehow black people adjacent. But I watch ones where it's like a white people, a white interracial couple, a Latino. Like it's always, but it's like for a while I said for my man should be called for my nigga, because it's just the only thing that matters. The dude gotta be black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the only qualification.
Because some of them was white girls, and I'm like, that's not for my. That's not what I come to expect from For My Man, for the For My Man brand. But then here come the brother, and I'm like, okay,
all right. You're sticking to the theme.
All right, emails. My first email on the show for feedback. Ignacio from Bangkok says, I've been listening to the show since late 2011. This couple, these jewels, have gotten me through some shit in my life. They have been my lifeline to home, as I'm an expat living in Bangkok since 2007. I'm about to sound like a combination of Samuel Jackson and Chill. All y'all old heads know who Chill is. If Rod has our old music, I hope he plays it. We don't normally play as much licensed music, which is why I don't play it anymore. But it's Dunno. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up?
Shout out to Chill.
Shut up.
Chill doing fine, y'all. For those of you that know who Chill is, she's doing fine.
If you don't like the blackout tips, fuck you. If you don't like Rod and Karen as people, fuck you and eat a dick or have Arby's. It's the same damn thing. And for the other old heads who remember this, I live on the other side of the planet. But if you got a problem with this show and the host, I could get on a plane and we can meet in Temecula, nigga. That's me trying to sound tough. Just kidding, y'all. Though, don't mess with the show if you don't like it. We don't care because we love it. Shout out to Rod and Karen.
Thank you. You know what? We don't care. We don't care.
Oh yeah, it's just, you know, some people don't like it. It's fine. You know, whatever.
Yeah, child. I know.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I feel you on that. And child, I know I ain't everybody's flavor. You ain't got to like me. I'm old enough to not care if you don't like me.
Nate says, hi, Rod and Karen. Just wanted to say I love the show. As always, can't get enough. But there's something I'm not sure you're aware of. Rod and Karen versus liberal leaning non-voters and local election only enthusiasts make this Kendrick versus Drake look like Burt versus Ernie. When Rod flips that switch, it turns into Rowdy Morrow. Watch out. He will roast you with surgical precision. Some of my favorite bars below. Moral cowardice is in a way you will never understand. I can't believe we as a country, nigga, you part of we, and you chose to be on the sideline, chose not to do shit. Hey, you sitting at home, you think that makes you clean. I think that makes you as dirty as them. I think Rowdy Morrow is a bad man, Nature Boy. Thanks, Nate. What's funny is I try not to go there. That's what's funny is I unsuccessfully, actually probably successfully more than not, try not to go there because I know I have a lot of deep anger about that shit. And
sir.
It's on a level that I don't want to alienate people, and I know it's not the best way to reach people is yelling at them and calling them motherfuckers and shit. But I, honest to God, especially being from the South, I just see voting so differently than these other people who live in these places where maybe if I lived there, I would feel differently, but they just ain't got to worry about it. It's so much
not as important.
Yeah, they just feel like they're going to be taken care of somehow, some way, no matter what. Or that it can't get worse. And I just live in a place where worse be popping up
all the goddamn time.
Anytime you relax, it just gets worse. And you're like, fuck, man, y'all can't see this coming. And when you have a national conversation, listening to people tell you, it feels like they're just gaslighting you when they're telling you this, no, it can't be worse than this. And then when it gets worse, here they come acting like they had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, nah, man, I kept that same energy.
Right. And it can be very, very frustrating because anytime one of these big rules that the Supreme Court passed, like on affirmative action and voting rights, I know I live in one of them states where if you don't have the right people in office, they will immediately flip everything the other way.
Yeah.
And when you live in places that's not like this, you don't think twice about that bullshit.
And 2016 was the time to take care of that. And the fact that people still go back to that and will not have any accountability.
Right.
I personally cannot stomach you as a person. Like, I can't stand your ass as a person because you have no responsibility. You have no accountability. The only right thing to say after you either no-showed or voted Trump or whatever in 2016 is, I was wrong for that shit. And I fucked up the country in irrevocable ways, and I will never let it happen again. I will be vigilant. DL Hughley apologized to Kamala Harris like a couple days ago. And when I tell you, and I know y'all don't like DL, blah, blah, blah. This is not what this is about. But when I tell you, I completely understand and appreciate his apology, because most of you motherfuckers will never give one, even when you know you've been fucking wrong.
Yes, you know you part of the problem.
I appreciated the full-throated accountability because he has been wrong on this. You know, one of the reasons, I'm not a DL hater. I know many of y'all hate DL. I'm not a hater, but I've never really truly been fully on DL's side of shit because a lot of times I feel like he has some pretty gaping holes in his logic when it comes to women, and especially like black women. And there's like some misogynistic weird shit that he says sometimes where I'm like, you're so fucking smart everywhere else, and this is where you don't give a fuck, or this is where the logic stops. You know, I'll never forget the stuff he said after Columbus Short abused his wife. You know what I'm saying? So there's these moments where I just completely can't get with DL, but I don't completely write him off because I don't think he's like most people. He's not always wrong. He's not a piece of shit. He's just, when he's wrong, I'm just like, you're very, very wrong, and no one can ever tell you anything that you'll listen to.
Right.
But he's been wrong about Kamala Harris for years. And even to the point where he did an episode of Daily Show, and that was the joke that they shared from that was, here he is shitting on Kamala Harris. And it was the same Russian propaganda stereotypes that were used to divide the black community to make sure that she would not be president. Russian propaganda was more targeted at her than any other candidate in 2016. We know that for a fact. We have proof. There have been studies. Russia was more afraid of her coming into power in the United States than they were of Biden or anybody.
Right.
You know,
because she wouldn't be for the shits.
So when I say seeing him fall for that was not unique, in that many people fell for that. And to this day, they'll never fully come out and go, oh, I was just tricked. You know, I did many episodes of our show that year where I just went through I did research. I listened to podcasts that were by journalistic people with standards that do, you know, follow up, that do interviews. I listened to an interview with she was a DA. I listened to an interview, with the public defender who sat across from her in many of these trials, and her view of Kamala Harris, because it's important. It's not, you can't just get this shit from niggas on Twitter. You can't just get this from an excerpt in the article or a headline that just is, you know, she locked people up for not going, and then you find out what she really didn't know. Like, this is one woman, but that wasn't even like Kamala Harris never enacted that policy. She was out of office when that happened. But these are little things that matter. But when you are being propagandized to, it stops mattering because you just want to be part of the pile-on culture in the crowd. And DL fell for that. He fell for that, which is, like I said, it can happen to any of us.
Yes, nobody's above it.
This is the part that we don't see enough, which is his apology and accountability for it.
At the dinner we had, and it was not always, it got contentious, and I had to apologize to you because I had let a media narrative co-opt my perspective, and I think that tends to happen with women and people of color. I think that we oftentimes hear this sirens call that is so it's so mesmerizing that sometimes you believe it. And I had to apologize to you because you were a prosecutor. I grew up in California. I love that state, and what I saw happen to it, I equated it with, elected officials, and I lumped you in with it. But some of the things that I have subsequently come to learn about you not only make me proud of you, but make me be an advocate for you. I'm proud of the things you've done. I'm proud of what you're trying to do for this country. This administration is trying to do for this country. And I can say in front of them, I'm sorry that I ever let somebody tell me what I should have known from the beginning. And I'll use my voice not as I'm not a paid, but I'm not. I don't even like politics all that much. It's ironic to me. Right. But I think you have done what you said you would do. And there was a time that I didn't believe it. And I have to say that I'm sorry. And I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure you get the word out and make sure that people understand you have done everything you've promised. And I am proud of you. So,
oh, dear. Thank you.
And that right there is what being a fucking adult is.
Yeah, that's accountability. That's taking responsibility for your actions. That's, because of the age of social media and the age of don't apologize, I can never be wrong, the age of, hold a grudge forever type of atmosphere that we've created. People don't want to admit they're wrong, but people are wrong all the time. Like people in your everyday real life apologize. Not everybody, but apologize, say I'm sorry, my bad, in every day. But when it comes to like publicly, that's the thing. What was very important about this is that what he said publicly, you need to apologize publicly. And I think people underestimate that sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with talking to people behind the scenes, but there are some times where you have showed your ass so bad that you need to make a public apology.
Yeah, and he publicly was saying stuff. Like I said, in front of the Daily Show audience, he was saying stuff that was not quite accurate and definitely out of context.
Right.
Like, you got to be better than that, bro. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard than that. Read the whole article. Go do the research. Look up the counterpoints, because you're about to say something that's not really something you can necessarily take back. Even now, there's going to be a lot more people that heard what you said about her that was negative than that will hear this apology that you made to her face, which I applaud, but the damage is done because you just flew off the handle. But yeah, we don't see that often. I actually appreciate that.
Me and me too. And like I said, and the thing is, he could have did what a lot of people do, apologize to her in private and then just change his actions.
Right.
But he felt like it was important enough to make a public apology to her to his face, which actually means something to me. And there's nothing wrong with changing your actions and all that stuff, but sometimes because he went so hard and he's such a public figure, I understand the willingness and him wanting to be just as loud being wrong.
No, I appreciate it.
As right as being
I think this
wrong,
is better than doing it. Yeah, I think this is the right thing to do, and I appreciate it. And like I said, if you have problems, you don't have to write up to us with all your issues with Dale Hewley. That's not what we're here for. Point. The point was that is very rare, and the non-voters of 2016, the people that are not going to vote this time, the people that are promoting apathy right now, they'll never be able to do what he did, and I respect him much more than them because of that.
Right, because the thing is, they look at social media and these things around them that, not try funny, in reality, that shit means more to them than their integrity. and to me, I'm reversed. This okay, cool. But at the end of the day, integrity matters. Like
they think not apologizing and never admitting to being wrong is integrity. That's what they think it is.
Yes, and
it's like the Republican mindset, All right, Psycho Music sent us a new beat for the banner segment.
Can we talk for a minute? Can we talk for a minute? What you talking about?
I like that.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Psycho Music. We'll definitely put it in the rotation, man.
I like that.
Appreciate a good banter. Our bae, Nick Jew, writes in,
"Hey, baby."
Polly Ann Marie, she says, "Hey, my babes. Hey, my babies. I heard the bat signal, aka y'all were talking about polyamory, and decided to write in with my little 2 pennies. So the umbrella term is agreed to be non-monogamy. Under that umbrella is polyamory, open relationships, swinging, ethical, consensual non-monogamy, and so on and so forth. With polyamorous folks, there's a large debate in the community whether it is a what you do or who you are. For example, you either choose to love more than one person at a time because you don't want to subscribe to compulsory monogamy, or because of your ability / desire to love more than one person at a time, you are polyamorous. Okay, so like kind of like the debate between is sexuality a choice or is it a hardwired thing that is inside of us?
Okay.
Same thing with gender. I, as a straight person in a traditional monogamous relationship, obviously not my call to make.
Right.
If people want to debate that, they can, but I would just take it one step further and say, no matter what is decided in that debate, it is almost better to defend it as if it does not matter. By which I mean, like, if we can never prove that being gay is a hardwired biological imperative that is put into our DNA or not, it really shouldn't fucking matter. Because the freedom to make those choices should be what everyone has. That's what equality is. You know what I mean? So like, whether we can find out whether, like, some people might be choosing to be gay. Who gives a fuck? That's a choice they get to make. We shouldn't be and I'm not saying Nick Jew saying this, but we as a country policy-wise should not be implementing stuff to be like, you can't do this because it's a choice. Now, if you was biologically made that way, then I guess we would have to do it. No. Even if it's a choice, who cares? Nobody's stopping people from fucking multiple people if they're straight.
No, they are not. They do it all the time.
Yeah, like, it's just, it's super wild. Even religious wise, we're not stopping out of wedlock sex. We are not policing that as a whole. We're like, yeah, you can have sex with whoever you want to have sex with as long as it's straight, so yeah. There's an even hotter debate about including non-monogamy under the LGBTQIA umbrella. As Rod said, there are people who identify as LGBTQ who are non-monogamous. The biggest consensus is that non-monogamous people should not be part of that particular protected class, but since many states, countries have laws on the books that restrict marrying more than one person and access to hospital visit, child custody, and other rights to the non-married partner, they should be a protected class. Cheers to another week of great shows. Love to you and my sweet Karen. Keep doing what you're doing. Love you, Nick Jew. And then she wrote back and said, wrote this long ass email and forgot the reason I wrote in was to say that when I started my therapy, my therapist, a black woman, didn't know much about non-monogamy. By our third session, she was caught up. Love that for me. That's good. She did the research or the reading or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, to a certain extent, I understood that point that they were making about therapy, but also there's just a lot of shit when you're talking to a therapist that they just don't get. And even if they understood the concept of certain things, they don't know what it is for you necessarily.
Yeah.
Because even stuff like polyamory, non-monogamy, all that stuff is an umbrella term that many specifics are varied per the person and the people involved.
Ain't that the truth?
So like, how would your non-monogamy work if you put it this way, if you walked into a therapist's office and said, I'm in a non-monogamous relationship, they don't necessarily know what that means. They don't know if it's a sexual thing. They don't know if it's a swinging thing. They don't know if it's a many relationships at the same time. They don't know if it's a primary relationship with spinoffs. There's a lot to it. You still would have to explain. It's just, you wouldn't have to explain just the basic concept.
Right.
And hopefully they change the teaching so that becomes part of at least like the ground level of understanding of this is non-traditional relationships are part of all the shit, Anyway, last email from Joe, who says, hi, Rod and Karen. Thank you for your excellent content as usual. I have to point out that the amount of research you do in order to make the show funny and informative is amazing. When I listen to other podcasts or talk radio hosts, I get a little chuckle inside when they address a story, and I know you addressed it days ahead. Yeah, the sad part is they had days to go read it, and they probably didn't. They had days to catch up and know more than me. More shit has happened, but they don't care. I sent you an Audible copy of Brittany Griner's Coming Home. Sorry, Coming Home is the title of Brittany Griner's book.
Okay.
I hope you will listen to it. It's not as graphic and depressing as one would think. After reading the book, it made me more determined than before to not take life and being with your loved ones for granted. I agree. I hear you. And I did accept the book. And Karen's the one who listens to Audible, so she'll probably hear it before I read it because I read books on my Kindle.
Yeah, I am. I'm an Audible girl, child. I be burning them things up.
And we share the same accounts, so I'm sure she'll probably have it in. It's already in there, back
thing. Okay, I'll go find an Impress Play.
Karen, you know I am Team Karen all day, and you were especially quick on the jokes this week.
Yay!
Last thing, yes, Rod, I was being a total hater on the attention Caitlin Clark is getting because she strikes me as a young lady who will not take the criticism and work harder. She will probably just leave it to her rabid fans to whine for her. I love women's basketball. I've been supporting since the inception. I have tickets to see the Sky Aces play and will be rooting for everyone. Okay, Karen's got it. Never mind. You got it.
What I was going to say, watching Caitlin Clark play in college, I don't think there's anything about Caitlin Clark that would say that she's not determined to be the best fucking WNBA player of all time. Like she didn't break them records in college for no reason. She broke them records in college because she was like, I want to be the goddamn best. I want to go down. When I die, I want y'all to know I was motherfucking one and motherfucking the best. She has some of the same things that men have it, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but certain athletes have this thing where they are a level above the average player, where you almost have to be very unrealistic thinking about yourself. Yes, all players think that they're great and they're the best, but there's some players where they are above that. Michael Jordan was like that. Kobe Bryant was like that, where they was like, I'm gonna be the motherfucking best, and there's nothing that anybody in this league can do to prove me differently. If I get my ass whooped, bitch, I'm coming back. No matter what it takes, I'm going to prove to everybody here that I'm the best. She's going through her lumps right now because she has to get adjusted to the pace of the game. I can guarantee you give it 2 to 3 more years and she's done bench pressed. Because I'm gonna tell you, when the off season happened, y'all ain't gonna see her. Her whole off season is gonna be fucking getting ready and getting prepared to give them that goddamn business. Because that's just how she is. You give her a few more years, she's gonna be a fucking superstar. She's already one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year, and so it's one of those things where I don't see anything about her game that I think that couldn't transfer up to the next level. And it's just me on the outside looking in. A lot of people hate on her because she's a white girl, period. You can't tell me anything differently. Like Right say, it's the race war. You go, who this white girl, who she thinks she is, and you disregarding all her records, you're disregarding all her hard work, you're disregarding everything that she put in it. Like she just magically got there. They didn't magically draft her as the #1 draft pick just because she was a fucking ass white girl. She had to do something.
Also, so I piggyback on a lot of that, but also it's like you're saying that the WNBA as a league is stupid. That's what you're saying when you're like, they drafted her #1. They selling out all these fucking, games. Is it because they don't know what a good WNBA player looks like? Everyone consensus thought she was the #1 pick, but they're all fucking stupid. They just obviously she's terrible. She's not going to make it. So we're just going to waste this pick on her. We got picks to waste. We're the worst team in the league. And we just wasted a pick on her. That doesn't make sense to me. As far as her attitude and stuff, I don't know how you say she's not hardworking when she's the #1 scorer of all time in the NCAA. I don't think lazy people get that. I definitely feel like she had 3 years of Iowa building an offense around her. Oh, was it Iowa? No, it's not Iowa. I'm already forgetting what fucking school she went to because it was white people's time. But she had 3 years of them building an offense around her. So I think that makes it more of a that makes it more jarring to watch her in the WNBA versus a team that literally set every screen for her. It was like watching Steph Curry at Davidson his second year than watching his first year in the NBA and you go, oh, is this guy not gonna be that good? Because he doesn't. And it's like, no. You got to set up if you want him to be good, you got to set up the Golden State Warriors like Davidson. You got to run this motherfucker off every screen. You got to get him open. You got to do all that shit, right? So the difference being that there's men, and with men, people have a lot more leeway and understanding of how things work. With women, we have a lot of misogyny within our society, and we have a lot of double standards. I personally, even as a Caitlin Clark fan, Angel Reese fan, I personally feel like they're going to take their lumps because they're supposed to. I don't see anything bad about what's happening to Caitlin Clark. I don't see anything bad about when Angel Reese got yoked up. I legitimately think this is how the only way to earn your respect is to go through this. And this is a league that actually either, I'm not going to say they don't respect her, but they want to make her earn it.
Make her earn it, like all players. And
I'm not going to belittle the league and the other players, because then I make it sound like when Caitlin gets 30, it's because everybody's sorry. Obviously, she's not good. She's lazy. She doesn't work hard. She's just a white woman. Is Breonna Stewart just a white woman? You know what I mean? Is Sabrina just a white woman? No, they could ball. So she just got to earn it. And all the rookies have to earn it. That being said, yeah, they go hard on her, and I don't think it's because she's a white girl, but they go harder on her because she's been gifted this, like, she's the next coming, and some of her fans are some of the most obnoxious, racist,
yes,
ridiculous people on the planet.
Yeah, they're over
and
the top.
So a lot of people have been responding in kind.
Mm-hmm.
The protectionism from people that are supposed to be fucking athletes who understand how sports work, especially black men, the protection of her as if she's just out here and these big mean black girls keep beating her up. That shit is annoying and it's fucking this shit up. But that ain't got shit to do with her.
Right.
Like, I could see if she was saying this shit. She's out there being the same person I saw in college. She's fiery. She talks shit. Mm-hmm. Everyone's talking about her getting knocked down. I don't give a fuck about her getting knocked down. She gets up.
Mm-hmm. And she's barking back too.
That's the people that's the people with the dog in them. If the getting knocked down is crazy, you're gonna get knocked down. You should get knocked down. LeBron James getting knocked down all the time, lay on the ground 5 minutes. The problem is that feeling in your heart when you on the other team, when you rooting for the other team, he get his ass back up and you like, fuck. Like you wish he just stayed on that bench. You know what I mean? And yeah, because they don't have a lot of off-time training and regimen and shit, she ain't had time between college and all that stuff. She's a perimeter player, so she ain't gonna like be big and get in the paint and bang. Like, some of those skills are translatable. Camila Cardoso, immediately translatable. I'm 6'7" or whatever.
Yes.
And I'm big and I'm in the paint. Like, you ain't gonna bang me. I'm gonna bang you.
Yes, sir.
But we talking about perimeter players. It's not fitting to happen for them that way. It's gonna take a while. And yeah, I think more importantly, y'all, and I'm putting you in this too, Joe, have done her a huge favor. Because y'all talk about Caitlin Clark like she's gonna wash out of the league.
Right.
Now look, maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'll be DL Hughley apologizing in 2 years. Like, I guess I was wrong. I didn't know she was not good enough. But my thing is, y'all I don't need, like, Karen was doing all that. She want to be the best in the league shit. Y'all lowered the bar to, like, just be in the league. Y'all said she just not good. It's just white privilege that is floating her career. Okay. So if she's still around 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years around, in any capacity, whether she's an all-star, just on the roster, taking up space, y'all said she wasn't even going to be good. I don't know. Well, I do know what happened. Race. It's the race war. So everyone's lost their motherfucking minds. And I'm just not participating in it from that way because I don't participate in the other sports that I do watch all the time. You ain't never seen me come on here and be like, man, you know, this quarterback just white. If the motherfucker good, he good. I don't give a fuck. Look, I've never hated on Luka or Jokic or Dirk Nowitzki. Like, nah, if they like that, they like that. What the fuck do I? It don't matter. That's what I love about the game. The game don't got no white privilege when the goal is 10 feet in the air and the ball is up there.
Right.
The refs aren't like, oh, we only call foul for white girls. They don't give a fuck either. So we gonna see if she got it, because she gonna have to have it to stay in the league. That's it.
She is.
And as far as her falling and all this shit, I think two things are happening. One, they're definitely fucking her up. And I just personally don't feel the protection around her, because I feel like that's part of how you get respect, is you gotta get fucked up. I'm sorry, but some of our favorite players in all sports, we respect them because they got fucked up. It's, you know, the people keep bringing up the Jordan rules. The Jordan rules took place for 2-3 years. We kept watching this man get fucked up against the Pistons. I don't think he ever beat them. But the point is, we watched him get fucked up against the Pistons. Or maybe if they did beat him, it's after he got Scotty. But whatever happened, we watched him get fucked up. And you know what happened at the time? We started going, damn, bro, is he not like that? Is he not going to be able to be a great player? I thought he was going to be one of them ones. And when he jumped over that hurdle, we went, he is one of them ones we don't even question it. Why did we stop questioning it? Because we watched him get fucked up. So all this is just a narrative that's helping Caitlin Clark's story to one day, this will be in the montage if she becomes great. This will be in the montage of her story as the beginning. I got fucked up and I needed to get in there and hit the weights like MJ did, you know, because we got that off season where he hit the weights and came back yoked up, and we was like, yo, he can take them fouls now. Now what y'all gonna do? You know what I mean? So I think that's number one thing, is this is part of her narrative, part of her story, and she is getting fucked up. And then the other part of it is people are like, well, she's just flopping. Some of it, I'm sure she's flopping, because all the players flop. That ain't no, people say that about LeBron. That ain't right. That don't mean nothing to me. Flopping is part of how you get an advantage. So if you're not strong, which she's not currently strong enough, and she'll never be strong enough to take some of those fucking blows. Some of those blows are from 6'7" women. Like, there's no guard strong enough to be like, yeah, you can just elbow me in my back and I won't fall down if I don't see it coming. So the flopping shit means nothing to me. But if it's a strategic advantage, then stop fucking banging her. Because that's what she's going to have to do to make it through this season. I don't know about subsequent seasons when she has a chance to bulk up, if she does. But right now, her best option when she get hit with a fucking elbow in the back or whatever, a grab from her, she need to fall on the ground and be like, ouch. Because she ain't get, like, because what's she going to do? She can't beat him up. She can't get physical back with him in a way that's going to be the same to these women that have been there longer and are stronger or bigger position. So right now, that's part of it. I didn't begrudge it when I understand you got to sell the foul.
Yes, you do.
But this is the thing. I'm talking about it from sports. Y'all just think it's race. So we can't even really have a conversation because I don't participate in the only racialized version of sports.
Right.
I came here to see something I didn't know I could see. Agreed. It's why I watch the games. Mm-hmm. I want to see greatness. You know, now do I understand the shit on the other levels? Of course. I've never taken race out of anything. I understand that she got some racist fans. I understand the protection of her in the media spaces is a lot about whiteness in a way that they don't afford. Many of these brothers, many of these white pundits, they don't afford this type of protection to anyone but white women. Right. You know, when I seen JL Covan losing his fucking mind when Angel Reese did the "you can't see me" shit, I remember I called him out at the time. Because it's because I do understand that race plays a factor in that. You know, I'll never see him say that about Serena Williams. You know, he's only gonna go grab his you know, he's only gonna grab his chest and clutch his pearls and say, "Oh, my stars and garters, not a pure Southern white belle." That is the complexion for protection in America. So I know it can't ever be divorced from the conversation completely. But between them 90 feet, where the line is the same, except for the NCAA tournament, where the lines are the same on both sides, where the goal is the same goal on both sides, ain't no motherfucking privilege. That's just ball. So yeah, I don't like. If it was that simple, JJ Redick would have been a fucking all-star in the NBA every year. If it was just like, we need to make sure a white person, you can't engineer it. The ball goes in or it don't. You turn it over or you don't. And she got a fucking way to go, by the way. Like if anything to me, I see ways she needs to improve, and we'll find out what she made of, because she's doing okay to me. I mean, she's leading rookies in points and shit, blah, blah, blah. She's doing okay to me when I look at her play right now, where I'm like, that turnover, that's because you were weak and you gave up. You know, that's okay. This is a bad shot. You know, like I could break down the basketball of it to y'all too, if y'all really wanted to go there. But I know most of y'all just want to talk about the racial aspect.
Right.
But basketball wise, the places I see her needing to improve is she actually should go pass first. They should run more motion for her that is about looking for the pass first, not the shot. And she should probably stop pressing on that shot. I know she was hitting those in school, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing that she was hitting those shots, but I truly do believe she needs to stop pressing on just coming down and I'm open, let me get that, you know, that money ball three that everybody is going to go crazy over, because teams are literally making her teammates be wide the fuck open with some of these over aggressive defenses. And some of her best plays have just been her making that quick pass to somebody right under the fucking basket.
Yep, and then they boom and they got it too. Yes.
Because everyone was worried about fucking her up. And listen, you got to use that to your advantage. And they've had a monster schedule so far. Shit, I think they play the Liberty again tonight.
Yeah.
So the second half of this season, I hope y'all are ready. Because when they start playing some teams that aren't just the prohibitive favorites to win the Connecticut Sun, who I believe are undefeated.
Yeah.
When they're playing some other teams, we might have a second half of the season where we're like, oh, Indiana's winning and Caitlin Clark's playing better. And I just hope y'all are ready for that shit too, because that's going to be another race war in itself, you know? But anyway, I'm enjoying it. I love a race war. Yep. I love observing it the way we do gender wars. I'm not participating in it. I'm not dumb enough to get in the paint with y'all. I'm too smart to be wasting time arguing with people that can't see beyond white woman, black woman. That's not enough for me. I need a little bit more complicated discussion about it. But yeah, we'll see what happens with her. I've been enjoying these games. I'm tapped in. I got the league pass. And it's sad because it's not just all about the Fever in Indiana for me, because I've been watching the other teams play too. Like Friday night, I actually bought League Pass twice. Friday night, I was so mad because I don't have the Ion app or wherever. They got to get that shit together. I don't know why they can't just use the NBA League Pass the men use. I know it's something legal, but why you can't just spend the money on that app? I don't know, because it already is tapped in, but whatever. Point being, the games are spread out all over the place. You got an Ion app, you got Amazon Prime, apparently you can buy it as an add-on to your Amazon Prime Video. $13 a month. And I think the season's only 3 months. I just went ahead and paid for it again, because watching it on my TV is so much better.
Yeah.
And it's much closer to the League Pass experience that I like, where I can flip to other games while they're on. So I watched 3 games Friday night. Like I'm tapped in, man. I'm ready to go. I just don't want to do the stupid shit with y'all, because I feel like most of sports coverage is stupid in the first fucking place. And now I know Monday is going to be a bunch of niggas on TV talking about, but Poe missing. Oh, Lord, y'all going to mess up the white woman. And I don't want to hear that shit, because it justifies the other people who then go, what? All she did was get elbowed in the eye. I can't believe she flopping. And I don't want to hear neither of this side.
Right, because both sides is to the extreme.
You all sound fucking crazy to me. Well, I'm like, yeah, that was a. Well, she did say something. Okay, well, you can say something to people because people are saying something the whole game.
Right, and they are fucking you up. Both can be true.
She said something and she got fucked up. Guess what? They called flagrance on that. That's actually how that works. We've all seen it. You know, it's crazy. And yeah, Shay said it, and I've seen other people say it. It's gonna be interesting because they're like, and Matt Barnes said it too, and I'm with Matt on this. It's gonna have to be somebody on the team that's gonna have to be like, we putting the end to this shit. And I don't know, maybe she's not that tight with. They've only been together a month. Maybe she ain't that tight with them. You know, you don't have time to build up the camaraderie that you would. Maybe some of them was in the race war. They was like, and they like, I'm not protecting this woman. I don't know, but more than likely, y'all gonna have to fight.
One of these teams.
I've seen it before.
And it's like, leave her the fuck alone.
It ain't a woman thing. It's a basketball thing.
Right. Quit fucking up my teammate, dog.
It's just what you have to do. Now, I don't suggest you fight the Chicago Sky because Camilla Cardozo was playing that first game, and I promise y'all was about to take a whooping.
Y'all don't want them problems.
Everyone was shitting on them for not standing up, but I said, "Hey man, but look, you want to fight Angel and Camilla? Nah,
you don't want them.
Let your first fight be against somebody a little smaller, a little team that don't got that dog in them like that.
Right?
You know, y'all should have fought the Sparks. That was a good day. That was a good time to fight. Y'all should have fought the Sparks. Y'all was losing anyway. It was late in the fourth. Just start swinging on niggas. Fuck it. And honestly, if I'm Caitlyn, she has so much money off of these sponsorships and ad endorsements. I'm straight up coming to the team being like, listen, I'll pay the fine. So, you know, if anything y'all could do would be appreciated. You get fined, you get whatever, it's on me. Cause with this shit gotta stop.
Right.
You know? So I think that's
like that girl that shot that free throw and then turned around and got. It's like, yeah, it's in everybody's strategy to be on her ass.
Right. Joe says it was just my opinion. Don't think I deserve this reaction. Lesson learned. It's not all about you, Joe. I'm now talking about the general.
We're talking about in general
response.
Yeah,
and you can't police my response so that it's only within this confine of just. I'm saying we are now talking about the general thing that I've seen on social media.
Yes, it's
if you haven't participated in it, then don't take it personal because it ain't about you. But the idea that this is just a white woman who's lazy and not good, and she's somehow still putting up 30 in these games against black women who are good, who aren't lazy, it just makes it sound like she's that much better than them, and I'm not giving them that.
Yeah,
I'm not giving them that. I don't think she's lazy. She has privilege, which is white privilege.
Yes.
She also has good offensive player privilege, which we see happen in every sport. It's James Harden, it's Steph Curry getting these calls that other people don't get. It's Trae Young getting these calls other people don't get. And a lot of people coming into the league that don't really understand and respect the league. I never said any of these people were Joe. But it's the people that come in and don't respect the league and they don't see these women as competitors who are out there playing a tough game, who they're not going to let you just come in and run the league. You're going to have to pay to do that. If you can do it, you're going to have to show them. So I haven't felt any of this racialized anger about it because I just see it as sports. I saw it the same way with Luka Doncic. I saw it the same way with Joker. I see it the same way with Dirk. I see it the same way with any of these players that come in. I saw the same, matter of fact, let's keep it, I see the same thing with Kobe and LeBron. Like, it's not, to me, it's not race. It's just LaMelo Ball, Lonzo Ball. You came in with so much hype.
Right.
I'm a competitor, nigga. I'm not giving you shit. So I'm full court pressing you because Pat Bev did Lonzo Ball first game they played. Full court press this nigga every game
it
for a year.
It didn't make no sense.
And it's just because they're competitors.
Right.
Like Karen talked about the psychoness of like a Caitlin Clark to try to be the best. All of them got it. That's why I didn't bring it up. I didn't even bring it up because I'm like, Angel want to be the best too. All of them want that ring. It's only 12 teams.
Right.
Like it's
not like NBA, which they have better thing. And it's also like a lot of other things, Joe, people write in a lot of times that's a starting point to a larger conversation.
Yeah. Like if you want to take it personal, fine. I can't stop you from that. But
But yeah, it wasn't
It
personal.
ain't personal to you. I'm just telling you, I've heard and seen a lot over the last couple of days, especially yesterday. And I'm giving you my analysis of it all.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot.
I ain't call you
yesterday.
out by no names. I ain't disrespect you. I didn't say you didn't know what you were talking about. I didn't say you weren't a real fan. And this is one of the reasons and problems I have with talking about this is because what did I say before this started? If I'm on 5, I got 10 over here and 10 over here, and they can't deal with 5.
Yeah.
They can't deal with me somewhere in the middle. They can't deal with me in the middle going, yeah, she's kind of getting the hard knocks.
Yeah, she getting fucked up.
But yeah, also she's good, but also she's not good enough yet. That also she whines and flops, but also they are hitting her. They can't deal with that. You gotta be all the way over here with like, listen, she's just a pretty white girl that just, I'm not like Emmanuel Acho. I'm not going to say that, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's how online is. It's like Roger said, it's the two. And yesterday, it was just a big bashing of the two extremes. And like he said, Monday on ESPN, that's all it's going to be Monday.
Someone hit my mentions yesterday because I think I said, okay, like the one where she got hit from behind. I was like,
right, she didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I said, okay, that one, they got like that one person. That was a dirty hit. They definitely did that on purpose. Like,
right. I think they raised it to a technical foul.
I think Angel Reese
flagrant.
Angel Reese had one level to a flagrant.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that one may have even been called flagrant on the court. So
okay.
But the point being, all I said was, okay, that one, there was some extra on that for CC.
Yeah.
Motherfucker in my mentions. Man, just see you, those of you that don't watch the game, y'all new to this, y'all don't understand. I said, y'all want people to take it easy on. I said, I never said, one, I've been watching WNBA basketball since Charlotte's team. So I'm not new to the game, although I'm watching more the last couple of years than I have been in a while. So, but I'm not new to the game. That's number one. Number two, I've never said anyone should take it easy on any of these players. And I mean that for all of them. Angel Reese got yoked up and I went, man, that's what it be like. Because if y'all think just because Angel's black that these other players ain't looking at her too like you need to be humbled down, you're crazy. They're looking at her the same way because Angel Reese is fitting to be a mogul. She's fitting to,
she's gonna be bigger than the league.
She understanding shit on a level with marketing, promotion, and stuff in a way that even Caitlin Clark is not able to do. Caitlin Clark has gotten marketing and promotion from other people. My girl Angel is fitting to do that for herself. You see what I'm saying? She's showing up at the Met, then showing up at the Garden, and then taking her teammate with her to throw out the first pitch in Chicago. These are I don't think people, this is another reason I don't want to make the conversation Caitlyn centric.
Right.
Because I think Angel's a fucking star that will be bigger than the WNBA.
Agreed.
And she's a big, so she ain't got to do as much learning curve shit.
Yeah.
She been banging. She been in that paint. She lead the league in offensive rebound. Like she found her thing of like, I can do this. Like I'm gonna just do that, and then I'm gonna be a bad one off the court. And she's gonna, that's like the people's champ right now. So that's another reason I haven't tried to turn it into like Caitlin Clark versus the league. Cause I'm like, dog, when I seen Angel get, and to me it was 2 flagrant fouls in a row, but they only called the one. But when I seen her get yoked up by a friend, by a person that she likes, by a person she looks up to, I went, yeah, cause it's still a competitive fucking league.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they not letting none of y'all come in and just run shit. This ain't no motherfucking party. This is a motherfucking fight. So you come in here, we catching you, getting the beats until you can beat back.
Yeah, and also this generation, and I know it's been slowly growing, but there is something special about this generation of rookies in the WNBA. A lot of them have larger contracts than most of them do before the end of the league. Like a lot of them, they're more famous, quote unquote, and they're bringing eyes to the WNBA like before. Like, you know, this draft was like one of the highest rated drafts, and I know the other players see that. And other players like, oh, these bitches getting ready to come here thinking they somebody.
Here's the thing too. What's the best way to show that you the man? What's the best way to show you the woman? Caitlin Clark we on national TV. I'm finna eat her ass up.
Yep, people getting ready to see me.
Everybody watching, they finna see I got it too.
Right.
Like that's like once again, I don't see any of this in the racialized lens of privilege and whiteness other than like off the court promotion shit, but you can no one can control that. You know what I mean? Like right now, I just want to see some good basketball, and that's what we're getting. And and fuck those people on the extremes of she's sorry, because I don't believe that. And fuck the people on the extremes of she the greatest. Why won't they just let her score? That's an insane person. That's a person that doesn't love sports. I'm sorry, but if you love sports, go earn it. Period.
That's how most sports.
I want all my goats to earn it. I want all my faves to earn it.
Everybody went through phases, no matter what it is, of getting your ass.
I ain't never watched a game and been like, why y'all ain't let Lonzo Ball lay it up? Nigga, because that's not the game. The game is he got to figure out how to lay it up with me saying no.
All right.
You know what I mean? So I've kept it at pure sports. And so, you know, I personally am not thinking. Now, look, like I said, we could be 2-3 years away from her. She's drummed out the league. Joe's absolutely right. She doesn't take criticism, and she won't work harder. And because she's complained about getting fouled and stuff, she just gives up and she's out the league, or she sucks or whatever. And if that's right, I'll apologize to you the same way that DL apologized to Kamala Harris.
Right.
And I mean that personally, directly to you. The rest of that stuff is me talking in general about the kind of refusal of people to admit like it's kind of a hating thing, you know, because people don't want to. It's such a weird gaslighting thing, and black people have it happen to us so much. So I think we're delighting in doing it to somebody else,
right? But we're not on receiving end of it.
But I'm not a fan on either side of the gaslighting. Like, I'm not hating. No, what? No, she just flopped, and I'm like, she got elbowed in the throat. Everyone falls when they get elbowed in the throat.
Down too.
That's just basketball. Like, I'm not saying they need to change the league. I'm just saying she got elbowed in the throat, you know, and it is different. It's a different level of intensity, because I just read too, the WNBA had to fine the Chicago Sky for not having the players come out and do post-game interviews. They weren't in compliance, because I think Angel Reese didn't do a post-game thing, and I know they wanted to ask her why she stood up and clapped when Caitlin got flagrant foul. I know that, and they probably wanted to avoid whatever Angel was gonna say or whatever. And the savviest Angel is, it does seem like the Caitlin Clark shit does get under her skin somehow.
Right, and then they were like, "Don't you take your ass out there."
Yeah, maybe she either declined, or maybe they said you shouldn't go.
Right,
but they fined them. This is not a league where people making shit tons of money. Teams taking $5,000 fines is not some shit that's sustainable. So they will probably end up having post-game press conferences and shit after this. For those of y'all that hate sports and hate women, too bad. I know this segment got long, and I know y'all didn't think I knew all this shit. But y'all probably don't listen to Balls Deep Sports or whatever.
Shout out to Balls Deep Sports.
But yeah, man. So shout out to WNBA. I will be watching again tonight. And I'm pretty sure that the Fever finna take this L to the Liberty tonight.
Child, yes, they're about to lose. They're about to lose, and ain't they in the garden?
Listen, it don't matter. They can play on Mars.
Home, away, it don't matter. They're about to take that L.
When Brianna and Ionescu and them girls is coming for you, it don't matter.
Child.
They just got to get used to these lumps. Like I think the Liberty were the first team that had the pick that she got ran up on, like, and she didn't see it coming and got fucked up. I'll tell you this, she'll have her head on a swivel this time.
Yeah, cause now, and people go, how did that happen? I was like, yeah, her teammate was
supposed call out the pick,
yell out pick, and they didn't, and she's on a bad team, y'all.
Some have it, but I'm just saying.
She ran into that brick wall.
She might want to have that head on a swivel, because she went down like a fucking lump of sack of flour.
Like my ass would have. I didn't see them coming.
All right. She says, oh, wait. Great job on the Karen Hunter show yesterday. The chemistry between you, Karen, and Lamont is amazing. I appreciate how you handled that troll caller. I was in the chat furiously typing Karen, tag Rod in, and you came through. Oh, thank you.
That caller was hilarious.
Keep up the great work, Joe. I don't know why did that man call Karen Hunter?
I don't know. Ed had the nerve to hang on the line to come back. And they was like, "You still here?" He was like, "I'm still here." I fell out laughing. I was like, "This man held on for why, sir?"
The day after the man you voted for caught 34 of them charges, 34 of them things, left no crumbs, ate it all. You listening to Karen Hunter for what exact reason?
For what reasons?
Because I know you mad. Did
Right.
you think she was gonna be like, oh man, a tragedy of justice? This motherfucking criminal gets held accountable. Like, what did you think?
You upset?
Like I said, I didn't even have much to say to him other than because I knew it's her show. She's going back and forth with him. And and I just wanted to ask him that one question basically of like I wanted to say that one answer to his question because he kept trying to frustrate her and move the goalpost and overtalk her and cut her off. Just shit men do.
Right.
But it was when when he was like, and who was even the victim? I'm like, us. It's voting, motherfucker. It's
the
us.
voters, because this information that we should have known.
You're a victim, dummy.
Right. Yes, you are a victim.
You didn't know all the information when you voted, you dummy. God. Now that person I am personally attacking and calling names.
Yes.
I would never do that to you, Joe. Even though Joe, to be honest, it's good that you felt bad a little bit because you were okay with Karen leaving me for dead in the hospital. And so I just want you to feel how I feel. Do you feel abandoned? Do you feel like you was left for dead, though? It don't feel good, do it? When Karen was on the other side.
I did not leave you for dead.
I didn't even get to say a word. Karen was already on the other side. She was already like, So I'm just saying, Joe, just now that we both know how it feels, maybe we could all stand to be a little kinder to each other in the future. I'm just saying, Joe, I love you and I'm sorry you felt bad.
I did not leave you for dead.
But that Karen went out and got some grits on you, didn't she?
Some grits and eggs and sausage and child, they were good.
You was in the chat fighting for your life.
Liver mush. I was eating hard over here.
You was in there sedated. You could have died. She would have never known. She was out getting grits on you. It's not fun. Maybe you owe me a DL Hughley apology. I don't know. All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Hilarious.
Thanks for being good sports. We'll talk to y'all throughout the week. Until next time. I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.